Bidenomics hanging on by the fingernails. A little focus on the tech sector in California. Hello, this is Chart GPT today. A little bit about jobs report. I know we have a jobs report coming out, I think next week or so, and we want to kind of focus on this. So it might give us a preview of what's going to be happening. Some disturbing trends here that we need to take a look at here. First off, take a look at the what the sentiment is, and it's quite interesting to listen to what the news media says and what people are experiencing. A lot of people scratching their heads. Well, the numbers look good at a macro level, but they don't necessarily look good at a detail level. We'll take a look at why. So here's kind of a thing from I think there's a reference link in the post link in the description box, but mainstream media and business think things are really good, and those having personal experiences are at the exact opposite. You can see here, and customers kind of in the middle. So you can see that the difference there's a the tale of two economies is very explicit there in terms of customer sentiment. So that's a very interesting point there. I think once we can take a look at different statistics in terms of how the wage inflation has occurred with price inflation. But here's kind of the thing, 33% of a person's budget is their home. So here's this U.S. home value relative to income ratio from 1970 to 2024. Back in the 70s and 80s, it was around 2.75, and now it's 4.5. So even if, and it hasn't, but even if you could say that wage inflation is kept up with price inflation, the point is 33% of your budget now went from 2.75 to 4.5 in terms of affordability. That has to be factored in, which is not necessarily factored in terms of the wages. That's why sometimes it's looked at other statistics. Here's kind of statistics in terms of whether you feel things are better or worse than a year ago. You can see these numbers have steadily climbed since about the 2019, 2020. Of course, some of this was COVID, but we're out of COVID, so there you go. Here's what I kind of want to focus on: the California tech sector job growth. And what you can see is even after COVID, we're seeing a steady climb. And of course, the red line is the total tech sector employment is on the downswing. And the only thing that's kind of hanging in there is computing infrastructure to keep the servers running. And other than that, everything else, software development, everything is going down. So all these tech sectors, even though they're booming, the tech sector in terms of employment are going down. Is that the effect of AI? All the AI now is doing all the coding. Interesting point, but that's an alarming statistics. Of course, that'll have to figure into what the Fed is going to be doing. And there's, of course, Elon Musk says this is AI taking all our jobs, and that's what he's predicting. And maybe we're just seeing the front end of that on those statistics there. So disturbing events there. Now, there's a statistic a lot of people don't look at, and this is this bed. This is kind of the net gains and minuses. It's the same. It's coming out of the BLS. The other note is the bed data is coming from 9.1 million establishment, or the jobs report that we normally see every month comes from 670. So it's there's a lot more here, and I guess there's a divergence there. You can call it political, you can call it whatever you want, but the point is the monthly summation from the is showing it's going down, and the net in terms of the actual data, the bed net data jobs, negative. So even though you hear about all these wonderful jobs reports, the actual jobs report is negative. Though I will say it's not necessarily falling off a cliff, and that's why we kind of say it's hanging by its fingernails. Of course, here's an interesting chart here. Finally, is unemployment and inflation history. You can see that, of course, this is this COVID spike. It seems to come in waves. And we're looking at whether or not that the inflation is going to reoccur once we get these budget issues and other issues and war issues resolved. So some people think this is going up, and that's kind of the question. Anyway, that's kind of a preview of the jobs report that's coming out in a week here. And it does not look pretty, and I think somehow it's going to feed back into that report. In any case, take a look at the AI, and it gives you a description more about these bed reports, which I think you should pay more attention to in terms of employment. And it kind of gives you some details of what it is relative to the NFP, some variances. And I asked the question, is Musk right? Will AI take all our jobs? Oh dear. Check out the post links in the description box. And don't forget to subscribe.